Hold on to your horses because today's deck is a wild ride through Thunder Junction with several game-winning busted synergies and one very eager horse. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today's Gruul deck gets crazy surprise wins, creating 20 damage attacks from nowhere and even winning with Toxic. You just can't miss this one. Firstly though, if you are new around here, please consider subscribing below, especially now Outlaws of Thunder Junction has arrived. I am very busy brewing and tinkering with decks and you won't want to miss out. But onto this deck and my new favourite horse in Calamity, Galloping Inferno. This 6 mana 4/6 legendary horse mount with haste and saddle 1 says when it attacks when saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that saddled it and create a tapped and attacking copy of it, not once but twice, then sack them in your end step. So with the right creature saddling it, it is completely bananas, and we have two I'm eager to try today. Firstly, the return of Terror of the Peaks. For anyone who doesn't know what this reprinted dragon is, it's a 5 mana 5/4 flying dragon with essentially ward 3 life, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield, it deals damage to your opponent equal to that creature's power. So imagine saddling up your mount with this, making 2 copies of it, all triggering themselves. This is nuts. Speaking of nuts, I'm running T-Rexes. Your horse saddled with a T-Rex is straight up 20 attacking damage and 8 toxic, so this gets a lot of early scoops and I don't blame them at all. How are we going to get a horse and a Terror or a T-Rex down without them being destroyed? Well, let me introduce you to another bonkers card from Thunder Junction, and that's Smuggler's Surprise. It's another spree card, and this time an instant with CMC 1, so for 2 additional mana you can mill 4 and return 2 lands and or creatures to your hand from among them. For 1 mana, creatures you control with power 4 or greater get hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and for 5 additional, the effect that I'm interested in, that's because at instant speed we get to put 2 creatures from our hand onto the battlefield. It is incredible for us today and can even be done on your opponent's turn. I'm running Storm the Festivals too, hopefully to grab a couple of dragons and a new creature in Outcaster Trailblazer. I've been pleasantly surprised with this 4/2 as it draws you a card each time a creature with 4 power or more ETBs. This triggers multiple times when you're saddling up your horse, and you can plot this card for 3 mana as well. It also gives you a mana when it ETBs, which is a fun and very important effect for us today. The rest of the deck is ramp and mana dorks, and we need them. I've got Scrapgorgers, Bramble Familiars, Rubies, Hulking Raptors and Gwennas, with some Tamiyo safekeeping to help protect them early on. I've got 26 lands today, and that is today's deck. So to say I've had fun playing this deck is a massive understatement. This horse is completely crazy, and I'm imagining it in many other builds. These cards are new, and I'm sure there are other options you could play in this deck, but if you want to be slightly janky, very powerful, and surprise your opponents with some massive chunky attacks, this one is for you. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this deck though in the comments below. Also, what are your favourite cards from Thunder Junction? Don't forget to drop a like, consider subscribing if you haven't, and I'll catch you again in the next video. Alright, on the play here with our mini combo Calamity deck here, and yeah, we've got the 3 combo pieces in our opening hand. I'm going to keep, it's very risky. We can't do anything until we have 6 mana, but surely we're going to pick up some cheaper spells along the way. That is the hope anyway. Well, there's a Scrapgorger, so that is a good start. We can play that one. Fingers crossed the opponent leaves it alone. That will mean that we can play our Calamity 1 turn earlier. We need 6 mana with the Smuggler's Surprise to surprise our opponent with a Calamity and a T-Rex. That is straight up 20 damage though. 20 damage that they are going to have to block. Also, it's 8 toxic damage from the T-Rex. And the T-Rex does have a ward 4. Opponent with a Sky Strike Officer. I did not expect that. So it looks like they are a Bant Soldiers deck. We drew our Trailblazer. I'm going to plot that. That means even if they kill my Scrapgorger next turn, we can play the Trailblazer for nothing, and that will create a mana, so that will give us the 6 mana needed. So yeah, kind of want them just to tap out. They do have blue in their mana base, so fingers crossed they do just that. T-Rex can't be countered if we ever just want to hardcast that. That is Mondrak for our opponent. They are up to shenanigans because they're going to attack. Yeah, they attack with the Officer to make 2 1/1s. But now their defenses are down for our combo here. We are going to play the Trailblazer first to grab a green mana. Smuggler's Surprise here, and we're actually going to be able to pick 2 modes. we can pick the middle mode and the last one. So our creatures are also going to gain indestructible and hexproof until end of turn. Here come the Calamity, here comes the T-Rex, and we are going to saddle up our horse with our T-Rex. Right after we've drawn 2 cards with the Trailblazer, saddling it up, it's going to create 2 attacking 8/8 when we attack with our horse. Draw 2 more cards. I mean, this is exactly what the deck is meant to do. I guarantee you the opponent did not think that this was going to happen when they cast their Mondrak on their turn. And yeah, they just take the damage and basically scoop it up. Alright, on the play. Okay, couple of Terror of the Peaks, Scrapgorger, Raptor, and Surprise. So, yeah, our hand's really nice. Our hand is very nice here. Get to play the Scrapgorger next turn, hopefully into a turn 3 Raptor with a Surprise the following turn. But things don't always turn out like that. Opponent with a Spyglass Siren. So, not sure what we're up against. Probably some artifact synergies, though. Okay, they name Human with their Cavern. They're hovering their little map token there. Okay, they are exploring. So maybe they just don't have too much gas, or they don't know what is coming their way. But certainly going to be playing our Raptor here. Yep, so next turn we have 6 mana from what's on board. If we draw another land, that will be 7. And we're going to be using our Calamity and Terror of the Peaks. Opponent with Kervek. Okay, that is a cool card. I'll pop that one on the screen. So they're a crime deck, it looks like. And I think we're going to get our creatures down a lot quicker than they think that they can deal with our threats here. As we get to play our Calamity and our Terror of the Peaks. And we are going to... I think I'm just going to shoot the Kervek. Okay, well, they scoop it up anyway. We were going to create a load of copies of that and hit their face. Alright then, on the play. Not the greatest hand. We're very reliant on this Gwenna here, but I do like Hulking Raptor. I think that's a really good inclusion in this deck. I'm absolutely loving Calamity so far. It's just 6 mana is a lot, but if you can build the deck around that, you should be okay. I was thinking of Carnosaur as well in this deck. That is definitely an option, because... saddling up your horse with a Carnosaur lets you discover 5 twice. And if you're cheating out your card, you're going to discover 5 3 times on your turn. So it went for Gwenna there. Got Cavern of Souls in the deck, predominantly just to deal with opponents who are running blue mana bases. That is pretty much it. I just don't want some of my threats countered. We'll go for the Raptor here. Could have played the Calamity, but we don't actually have a good creature to, or we don't have any creatures to saddle it. It needs a non-legendary creature to saddle, so it would just be attacking as a single horse. And that is not what we're here to do. So next turn is going to be great for us here. Going with Leyline Binding. Well, they can't touch our Raptor, which is important. Okay, were they going to try and copy it with the Weaver there? Maybe they were. Yeah, they've given us the oops. I think they were going to try and take both our creatures, but the Raptor's ward has worked out pretty nice. All right, we need to close out this game pretty quickly. We'll just go for the Calamity here as a creature. We're not cheating it out. We can copy our Raptor and attack our opponent for 14 damage here. So it's not lethal. This isn't the way I like to do it. Oh, they just scoop it up. I guess 14 damage is quite a lot at the end of the day. Alright then, on the play. Okay, we have Storm the Festival in our opening hand here. Just basically an alternate way of trying to cheat out some creatures. Unfortunately, it doesn't cheat out our horse, but it can certainly find some Terror of the Peaks. And it looks like we might be up against a fast deck as they lead with Kamano, and we'll play our Raccoon here. And it is Feldon. Alright, well, we're going to keep our creature. So that is good news, because that means that we can drop our Hulking Raptor. And you know something, if If both our creatures survive this turn, we do have the Storm the Festival next turn. Best draw for us would be Storm the Festival into 2 Terror the Peaks. Opponent with Mechanized Warfare. Okay. This is it. This is a big Storm the Festival there. As we also draw a Smuggler's Surprise, but we don't have anything in our hand. That is unfortunate. We could have used the Bramble Familiar there to also dig into our library. Just a Gwenna though. Storm the Festival has let me down there. 3 lands and a Gwenna. Yeah, that is not great. I guess I was hoping for something a little bit more. At least another creature would have been nice. Okay, so I think we just have to sit back a minute here. Yeah, this hasn't gone down. This hasn't been particularly great. I don't like having this Smuggler's Surprise in our hand and no creatures. Really need to draw something next turn. And they are attacking us here for what would be a lethal attack, but we are going to deal with this Mechanized Warfare. They've definitely got something going on here. Play with fire, 3 damage to us. Alright, well, we're down to 6, so we are going to have to block in some manner. But how do we block so that we can maximize the potential for us winning next turn? Mono red is my nemesis when I come to sort of brewing these kind of janky off-meta decks. It's very difficult to get a deck that can survive the onslaught from mono red, but also have combos to win the game. Sometimes you just have to almost succeed defeat to the mono red decks in this particular instance. So I'm just trying to find out how to block accordingly. I don't really... I want to keep my Raptor alive. I will just block like this. We'll just chump with the Familiar. I don't think we're winning this game unless we draw something next turn. They definitely have something in their hand. Okay, they have a Monstrous Rage. Okay, we go down to 1. No, I don't know. Maybe that was or wasn't the right way to block there, but we at least got a load of mana for next turn. So if we do find some gas here, and Karplusan Forest is not gas. Okay, well, I don't know where we're going to go with this. Let's play our Bramble Familiar as a 7-drop. Fetch quest, not something I do often. And I don't even know what we're looking for here. Probably a dragon would have been nice as we can block the Phoenix chick. Calamity, Galloping or Inferno, though, is not going to do it. They're just going to fly over the top. So I think what we'll do is we'll just show them how close they were to dying. Yeah, and then we'll just let them attack us. Fortunately, the Flyer is going to deal too much damage to us here. Terror the Peaks would have been nice as a blocker. They also have Godric in their hands, but you never know. Maybe we would have been okay if we found one of our dragons there. Yeah, opponent like that. So that was a lot of damage. We took them down to 4, so that was 16 damage. 14 damage, sorry. And they are going to just attack us for lethal. So, yeah, once again, I succumb to mono red on my quest for off-meta janky brews. But you never know, maybe this will become the meta one day. As we are taken down by mono red. Okay, on the play here, and we do have our Smuggler's Surprise. So in testing, I really enjoyed Smuggler's Surprise, and I was actually able to cast its first mode a couple of times. Milling 4 is quite good, and returning 2 lands and all creatures to your hand from those cards, I think is really good. I mean, we don't have to always be trying to cheat things into play. I mean, that's what this deck does, but these spree cards, I really think they are an excellent addition to Magic. I call them build your own cards because they just do so much. Opponent with a Fateful Absence, not a card you see often anymore, but we'll play another Raccoon here. And I'll certainly take that clue that they sent our way. It's a Harried Spearguard. Okay, so looks like they might be on some kind of off-meta brew as well. I've used the Spearguard before as sacrifice fodder for things like Rite of Oblivion, but they might be in Mardu. I'm just missing black. I think we'll just crack our clue here. See what we draw. Okay, it's a tap land. There you go. There's the lesson from me today. Don't play your lands before cracking your clues, because I would have liked to have played my tap land there. And it is a Dune mover. Okay. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing, but you know what? Next turn, Cavernous Souls, Smuggler's Surprise into Calamity and Terror of the Peaks. I didn't want to play Terror last turn as I didn't want to leave it exposed. Oh, we draw a T-Rex, so we'll change our plans ever so slightly and we'll go for Calamity into T-Rex. This isn't going to matter. They're going to go down to at least 18. They're going to take 8 Toxic, and there's a T-Rex on the board with Ward 4, which they're pretty much not going to be able to deal with, and then they'll die from Toxic the following turn. This is the dream. I am living the dream here with my horse deck. Again, I cannot expect the opponent thought that they were going to take 20 and they basically concede. Alright, on the draw. Okay, this hand isn't bad actually. We have some mana dorks, but we also have Tamiyo's safekeeping, which is really important to save those creatures early on. I almost considered putting more in the deck, but then I started to feel that I want to try and win the game, not always be on the defensive. Opponent with a Lunart Veteran here. And Amalia. Okay. So they are a Lifegain deck. So maybe our T-Rexes might be quite nice here as they do poison damage or toxic damage. Infect damage? Poison damage, isn't it? These days. And yeah, they get us down to 19. So I think we'll go for human and drop our Ruby here, leaving open the Tamiyo's safekeeping. They do have a Gix in their hand. I think we just need to get as much down on the board as possible and then look for our combo piece. They find a March of Otherworldly Lights on top of their deck, and they like that one. And they attack us with their Amalia. We drop down to 15. I have a feeling this is going to be a difficult game for us here. Hopefully they just don't have too much removal. Play this Scrapgorger. We either play another Scrapgorger or we hold open a safekeeping. I think they're going to want to play that Gix. So let's drop another Scrapgorger. Now if they want to spend their turn removing one of my mana dorks, so be it. Next turn we have Terror of the Peaks holding open Tamiyo's safekeeping. Okay, so that was a Gumdrop Poison, so maybe they are going to... Okay, it is Gix. I was wondering if they were going to just play their Poisoner, but no. They get in there with their 4/4. We go down to 11, but yeah, I don't mind this at all. Bramble Familiar, hey? So the annoying thing with Terror of the Peaks here is that we just don't have any really good follow-up plays. Scrapgorger does a whole load of nothing when that ETBs as it has no power. Bramble Familiar has power 2. Maybe we can take out their Veteran. But not attacking here. We do have our Tamiyo safekeeping to protect our Terror. That's going to be nice because they do have a March in their hand there. But yeah, we really could do with a horse next turn or a T-Rex or just something. Guess we could use our Bramble Familiar next turn to dig into our deck. We'll see where we are though. Okay, they are definitely up to something, as this has been going on for a while. I wonder if they are counting their mana for their March. Yes. I think I've played this game too much over the years. We'll safekeep our Terror of the Peaks, and they did have to exile a card to do that. Extraction Specialist, okay. Okay, well, we'll just eat something from their graveyard. Pop a counter on our Scrapgorger. So we definitely want something here. Gwenna. Gwenna is 2 damage. Let's look into our graveyard here. What have we got? What can we find? There's a T-Rex, but there's also another Terror of the Peaks. T-Rex is 7 damage. Let's go for Terror of the Peaks. Yeah, maybe I should have gone for the T-Rex there, because that would have been just 7 damage straight to the opponent's face, plus attacking with the T-Rex, instead of the 2 Terror of the Peaks. I mean, we're still in a pretty strong position, but I think we would have been better. Yeah, I definitely think I should have brought down the T-Rex there. But 2 Terror of the Peaks, like I said, isn't too bad. Opponent with a Gumdrop Poisoner. And yeah, they've gained 4 life with the Veterans trigger here, so they can deal with one of our flyers. Okay. Opponent is getting in there and drawing some cards with their Gix. Alright, come on deck. Let's find something here. I guess we can always play our Familiar, bounce it back to our hands, and do that malarkey again. So how much damage can we do here? We can do... If we play a creature and take out their Poisoner, we can attack for 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we can do 2 more damage with the Terror at the Peak. So we can get them down to 2, I think. And they've still got creatures on the board. I think I'm just going to go and shoot some of their creatures here, instead of going straight for their face. Definitely want to take out the Gumdrop Poisoner. And really, I would like to take out Gix as well, but I don't think I can on this particular turn. Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out I didn't play that T-Rex. Okay, well, we've cleared 2 of their creatures. Yeah, Scrapgorger and Terror of the Peaks is a terrible synergy. We'll eat their Amale from the graveyard. And yeah, we have to target something. And I guess we will attack with our Terror here. Drop them down to 10. And then maybe next turn we can go for lethal. What you got, opponent? I wonder if they have a board wipe or something. That would be annoying. Also, a removal spell on our dragon would be annoying as well. I think we can return... The next turn up, what I'm going to be doing, though, is returning the Bramble Familiar to my hand. And then recasting it again. And trying to get some lethal damage that way. Hold the phone, though. I totally forgot about Gix's hidden mode. They're going to be able to cast 4 cards from the top of our deck for free. 3 lands and a Smuggler's Surprise that they can't cast because it has a CMC of... Although it has a CMC of 1, you have to pay additional costs. Oh, wow. I think in all the times I've played this game, I've only ever seen that happen once before. I've certainly never seen someone miss so much. Some new emotes here with the new set. And yeah, they get in there with their Gix, and it's going to block with our 3/3 here. They had to discard 4 cards to do that. Yeah, and they scoop it up. I think we got a little bit lucky there in the end, but we should have won it probably a few turns earlier. Alright then, on the play, and I mean, it's good, isn't it? We just need to hit some land drops along the way, but Smuggler's Surprise into T-Rex and Calamity. Yeah, this looks good, actually. Have a Scrapgorger on turn 2. Just, like I said, just want to hit some land or some Mana Dorks would be nice. Kind of with Bloodfelt Caves, okay. Okay, we'll just cast our Scrapgorger here. I guess with the Cavern of Souls, I should have named something else. I think I should have named Human there, because that would have meant that if we draw something like Ruby, we can cast it. Okay, well, we find a Copperline Gorge. A Vile Smasher, Gleeful Grenadier, hey? Okay, so they are an Outlaws deck. I will pop the Outlaws cards up on the screen as they enter, because they are absolutely brand new. I'm not entirely sure what they are as well. Laughing Jasper Flint, okay? Sure. we will just take the damage there. So I don't actually think we're in that much of a bad position here. If we draw a land next turn, we can surprise them with... Yeah, we can surprise them with our Calamity and Tyrranax if they leave our Scrapgorgers alone. And that is a big if. We'll just take the damage here. Oh, please, deck, draw an untapped land for next turn. Okay, they just pass. And we find a Gwenna. Okay. Gwenna, not great. Gwenna is here as like a plan B for casting our big creatures. Not great at casting Smuggler's Surprise, though. That was probably one of our worst draws there. So they are going to be attacking us, what, with at least seven here. So we're going to have to block and start losing some of our creatures. Hellspare Posse Boss. Okay. And I'm going to create 2 mercenaries, and they're going to ping us twice. Bet they wish they had a Terror of the Peaks on the board as well. They may well have one in their deck, actually, because that would work pretty well with the mercenaries there. And if they attack us with everyone here, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be able to do. Well, they're attacking us for 7. Annoyingly, now they have blocker. They have blockers here, so even if we draw a land, we are going to be in a pretty bad situation. Might not even be able to attack with our horse. Alright. Got one chance here, deck, to find a land. What I love about these kind of combo decks is you're always just 1 card away from winning, but always flirting with death around the corner at every opportunity. Smuggler's Surprise there is not great for us. I will just use its first ability here to show you how this works. And yeah, there's Outcaster Trailblazer, T-Rex, and 2 lands. So we were going to get lands, but I don't think we were going to get them in time. And we'll just pass the turn here. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to just win by attacking if they remember to attack. There have been times where I've had opponents not attack. Is this going to be one of them? Vile Smasher returns to the battlefield. Come on, just put me out of my misery, opponent. There we go. They attack us, and there's nothing we can do there. Again, I don't think we were completely out of it, but we just took way too much damage early on, and we weren't able to effectively block their creatures there.